Joining me now is the chair of the House Republican Conference, Liz Cheney of Wyoming. Congresswoman Cheney, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Todd. Great to be back with you.
I want to start with what happened in the House this week, because it was a bit of a surprise. You voted against this broad resolution, and while your criticism of the resolution I totally understand, but you were in the minority in your party. Did your fellow House Republicans make a mistake by voting with the Democrats on this resolution?
No, look, I think that there were two ways we could have gone. Some of the people in our conference clearly looked at it and said there's nothing objectionable in the resolution. My statement made clear that was my view as well. But I decided to vote against it because I think it was really clearly an effort to actually protect Ilhan Omar, to cover up her bigotry and anti-Semitism by refusing to name her. The Democrats have yet to take any action to remove her from her committee. And they've got a real problem. I mean, the extent to which they are now abiding by anti-Semitism, enabling anti-Semitism in their party is something we watch them struggle with, but something that's very dangerous for the country. So I'm hopeful that they will be able to stand up and do the right thing on this.
I am curious. There was a bit of criticism. Politico noted their Republican sources were quite peeved at Cheney, referring to you, to say the least. The thinking among most top Republicans is this: when you're part of a leadership team, you stick together, period. Criticism being, since you're a member of leadership, that you should have spoken with one voice.
Well, look, I think that, you know how the Hill works. There are always those anonymous sources who are out there sniping. But I think the important thing for us to be focused on and to remember, the Democrats have been in charge now for about 2.5 months in the House. And in that time, they've become the party of anti-Semitism, the party of infanticide, the party of socialism. They've passed legislation that's violated the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. It's really time for the Democrats in that party to stop it, to stand up, and to act worthy, frankly, of the trust the American people have placed in them. It's crucial for the nation.
I want to unpack a couple of things you just said there. First, on the issue of, you said you think Congressman Omar should lose her committee assignments. You led the fight to get Congressman Steve King, Republican, to have him stripped of his committee assignment. Let me ask you this. Why should congressional leaders do that? If the voters are going to send these folks, the voters in western Iowa know Steve King, for better or for worse. And the voters in Minnesota knew her comments were very, very much well publicized. If they send them there, should congressional leaders really be not allowing them on committees?
Yeah, I think that the point is voters send them there. Nobody is saying we're going to expel them. We respect the decision the voters have made. But there are certain things that shouldn't be part of our public discourse. White supremacy is one of those. And anti-Semitism, the history in terms of what happens when you don't stand up to the evil, the history in terms of how quickly words turn into something much more horrible when it comes to anti-Semitism. As a nation, we must at all times stand up to it. And the kind of anti-Semitism that you're seeing now from Ilhan Omar and that has been supported by her colleagues is a kind of anti-Semitism that really has the ability to creep in and become normalized in our discourse, and we have an absolute obligation not to let that happen.
Well, there's actually